In today's skill focus activity, we are going to take a look at adjectives and their placement in a sentence. Did you know that adjectives do not like to be at the end of a sentence? They don't like being the last word. They do not like touching the period. So today we're going to take a look at sentences that have adjectives in that place and move them to another place in the sentence and make the sentences even stronger. We named the skill focus activity in honor of one of our all-time favorite children's book characters. You probably have already guessed who it is. It's Pigeon from Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus and other fantastic stories. So in Pigeon's honor, we have titled this skill focus activity, Don't Let the Adjective Touch the Period. So let's get started. In Pigeon's honor as well, we have our first sentence about a bus. So the bus is sunflower yellow. Now, there is something really strong about the sentence, and that is the use of sunflower yellow instead of just saying the bus is yellow. We love seeing more colorful color words, and we have a great resource on that called Adding a Pop of Color. So use that anytime you want to put a color word into a sentence. So while that's strong, the sentence itself is not. The bus is sunflower yellow. It's a sentence that has what we call a predicate adjective, where the adjective is at the end of the sentence, and in this case, is touching the period. So we don't want to keep it there. So these are the steps we're going to follow. First, we move the adjective in front of the noun. So we're going to take sunflower yellow and move it in front of bus. So now we have the sunflower yellow bus. Now that is not a complete sentence, so we still need to add more to our sentence, but it really sets us up already with a really impressive beginning to the sentence to add more great information. So then we work on adding an action verb. The sunflower yellow bus stops. Perfect. That is a complete sentence, but it's short. And I don't know about you, but I want to know more, right? I want the sentence to keep going. So in this skill focus activity, we are specifically looking at adding where phrases. Now, where phrases fall into the category of prepositional phrases. And that's a fancy way of saying it's a phrase that tells where. So to come up with a prepositional phrase, all you need to do is ask yourself, well, where did this happen? Where did the bus stop? And in this case, with this sentence, we have the sunflower yellow bus stops at the corner. So now we've gone from the sentence, the bus is sunflower yellow, to the sunflower yellow bus stops at the corner. So a much more interesting sentence, a longer sentence, and with the adjective in front of the noun and now a prepositional phrase, we have two fantastic structural pieces to this sentence that makes it really strong. Okay, let's try another one. The dog is fast. The adjective is touching the period. Let's get to it. Stat. Okay, remember we move the adjective to in front of the noun. The fast dog. The fast dog did what? Now we have ran in here. You could have jumped or leaped or bounded or swam, right? All of those verbs would work for this picture. And then we want to work on telling where. Where is this dog? Well, in the pond. Could be in a lake. You could certainly adjust and make this more yours. These are just samples for you all as families to use as you are taking on these sentences and talking through how to improve them. Or teachers, you are welcome to have students brainstorm lots of ideas that could replace fast, that could replace ran, and even add more sophistication to the where phrases. So all kinds of fun aspects to this that can really make this an activity that students really internalize and own so that they can apply this to their own writing. But again, a huge improvement from the dog is fast to the fast dog ran in the pond. We would much rather get that sentence with the adjective in front of the noun and a prepositional phrase. All right, the video was exciting. Great. Let's move our adjective. Now it's the exciting video. And what did that video do? Well, it captivated the children. So we've got a great verb in here, and we did have to add a little more language in here. So I have this one in here to just showcase sometimes you do have to add more into a sentence for it to make sense. None of our activities at Writing with Design are rigid. They do provide structure. They do provide a blueprint, but writing is not rigid. Writing is flexible. Writing is creative. Writing means you find your own way to say what you want to say. And the more that we help students and our own children see how to do that, then they're really going to find their voice as a writer. So just to say the exciting video captivated, it works, but we really need to know who it captivated. So the children, that works. And that's a fantastic sentence. And captivated is quite an impressive verb. Now, let's get to the where phrase. The exciting video captivated the children where? On the tablet. Now, in this case, the where phrase is about the video, but notice it comes after the part of the sentence where we say the children. And so to some people, as they visualize the sentence, as they comprehend the information, they might see that the children are on the tablet and then where is the video? So it's not the clearest placement of this prepositional phrase. And this brings me to a really important part about writing, and that is I want you to start to look at sentences like they are a game of Tetris. All of the words and sometimes phrases are like the shapes coming down in Tetris, and you can rearrange them, you can flip them, you can move them to the left, to the right, and with the ultimate goal of making as many rows as possible to score points. And that's the same thing. Every sentence is like a row. And so you have to think about what are the words and phrases that I could move around to make this the strongest sentence. So in this case, this sentence works grammatically, but it is not clear in terms of who is on the tablet or what is on the tablet. So I want to just showcase another way, and you'll see in this case, the prepositional phrase was moved closer to what it's talking about, which is the video. So the exciting video on the tablet captivated the children. So look at what a change we've had from the video was exciting to now this sentence with an adjective in front of the noun and a prepositional phrase embedded within the sentence. Amazing. The baby is tiny. The tiny baby. What did this tiny baby do? Slept. And where? In her mother's arms. Now, one other thing about prepositional phrases, that the one before we moved it into the middle of the sentence, which is fantastic. It's also really fun as students are getting this concept down, they're understanding where to put their adjectives, they're pulling in prepositional phrases. It's really fantastic to say, okay, let's play some Tetris here. Can we move this prepositional phrase to the front of the sentence? Does it flow? Does it make sense? Because when prepositional phrases start off sentences, it raises the bar on the sophistication of the sentence. Exact same words, exact same information, but it is a more complex sentence structure. So instead of the tiny baby slept in her mother's arms, we would flip those two parts and it would now be in her mother's arms, the tiny baby slept. Same information, just a more rhythmic and interesting sentence structure. So work on that anytime you get to a sentence like this through this activity where you've got a prepositional phrase, just even out loud, right? Doesn't have to be written down, but just even practicing with our oral speech. How would we say this if the prepositional phrase was at the beginning of the sentence? All right, our last one for our samples here. The sun is shining. The shining sun. The shining sun glows. Where does it glow? In the blue sky. Now, can this one be flipped? Can we put in the blue sky at the beginning of the sentence? In the blue sky, the shining sun glows. Yeah, we sure can. So this activity, you've got 5 sentences here. It's ready for you to utilize at home as you look at the sentences here to have discussions around the dinner table or over breakfast or on the weekends, whenever there's an opportunity for you to just take one of these simple sentences and work with your children on moving the adjective and adding in a prepositional phrase. They're going to start to internalize the skill set and it will forever change their writing. If you're a classroom teacher, look for opportunities with the content that students are studying to give them a sentence like this. Make up your own weak sentence with a predicate adjective, and then challenge your students to walk through these steps to not only tell you more content, knowledge, information, but to also create a more impressive sentence. And then they're writing across the curriculum, which is such a fantastic way to equip them with writing skills. We have a couple extension ideas for you. One is you'll see there's a lot of additional sentences just to get you going here, give you some that you can pull from. take these models and just change it out. Instead of the frog is green, it could be the dolphin is gray if you're studying marine mammals. So these are just sentences to get your thinking going. You can use this with any sentence. And this actually is a great revision strategy too. If you even see this in your own children's writing or teachers, as students turn in their work and you see a lot of predicate adjective sentences, then highlight them, encourage them to go back and walk through these steps and give you some stronger sentences. And then all of the sentences in this skill focus activity worked on adding where. But I wanted to also just remind you, we have all these other extenders that are fantastic for our students to practice, and they can be combined. So you could share a description. You can tell, along with where that we've already done, you can tell when, why, or how. And then one that I really love is to add a conjunction. And we've got three most common ones there, and, but, or. But here's the extra part, plus 2 additional words or more, 2 or more additional words. So we don't just want students to say, that the bus stopped and drove off, right? That's not enough. We need them to give us more to pick up additional children, right? So the sunshine yellow or sunflower yellow bus stopped at the corner, which was already longer, but let's just say the sunflower yellow bus stopped and then drove off to pick up more students. That extra piece after the and is what we're talking about here with that adding 2 or more additional words. We'll have more skill focus activities on all of these extenders, but we just wanted to let you know they exist. You can play around with them when you're ready to do that to make the writing even stronger. And just remember, don't let the adjective touch the period.